Before we start the demonstration for the drills, I think it's important that you know how the AccraSpeed actually works and how you can adjust it. Basically, the AccraSpeed is going to measure centrifugal force. So the faster that you spin the AccraSpeed, whether it be on your arm or on your leg or whatever, it's going to measure the centrifugal force created by that circular motion. And the faster that you can spin something, the more centrifugal force that you've created. So with the AccraSpeed, if you'll look at the little picture here, you'll notice that we've got a vertical scale that's numbered 1 through 7. Those are our major adjustments. So somewhere between 1 and 7, you're going to find that you're going to reach what we would call your maximum centrifugal force, which is kind of what we're trying to measure here. Okay, now if you look at the little dial that's facing you, it's got letters A through H. And that little dial is our fine measurement. So I can turn that dial clockwise, which requires me to increase the speed of my rotation, or it's going to measure higher centrifugal forces. Okay, or I can turn it counterclockwise and decrease the requirement for a circular motion, or we're going to measure lower centrifugal forces. So anywhere between any one of these numbers, we can dial, for instance, a 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F, etc., to get the real fine-tuning that we need for any particular skill level of athlete, or the different exercises or drills that we might be doing, for instance, overhand throwing or underhand pitching or swinging a bat. So an infinite number of adjustments here, and very, very easy to do. So again, AccraSpeed, great little tool. And now let's take a look at the drill that we've got on hand here.
Hi, I'm Rick Pauly with PaulyGirl Fast Pitch, and today the little drill that we're going to go through today with our little AccraSpeed device has to do with probably the most important movement pitch that a young aspiring pitcher could really learn, and that has to do with their changeup, or secondarily, how about an off-speed pitch. So we're going to show you how this AccraSpeed can help you make this a really, really effective pitch for you. So the first thing we do with this AccraSpeed is we try to find out what's our fastball arm speed, because in the end we want our changeup arm speed to be the same as our fastball arm speed. That's going to give what we call deception. That's going to deceive the hitter into thinking you're throwing a fastball when in fact you're throwing a pitch that's 10 or 12 or 14 or 15 miles an hour slower. So there are several things about your changeup, your off speed, that you really need to know to make it effective. One is you should try to use the exact same body mechanics, the same arm backswing, the same arm tempo, the same stride, the same energy level with your body. But the most important key has to do with the speed that your arm is going to travel in its circle. And this little AccraSpeed right here on my wrist is going to tell me if I'm achieving the same arm speed with my changeup or off speed that I achieve with my fastball. So I've got this set pretty close already to where my fastball arm speed is. So I'm going to throw just a fastball pitch, and you will hear an audible chirp out of this as it comes through the release zone. And then we're going to try to find the drills that are going to help us match that exact same audible chirp on our changeup and our off speed. So here goes one for a fastball, and you can listen and you can hear this chirp go. Nice chirp right here when I get through my release zone right here. So that's pretty close to where I'm at with my fastball. I could probably get it a little bit higher. And so I'll probably just dial it up one more notch, make it a little more difficult, which means I'm going to throw with a little more energy and a little more centrifugal action or speed with my arm. So one more on the fastball. And you can hear it coming through here and making its chirping noise. Okay, so let's say we've got our baseline set now for our fastball. Now, what are we going to do with our changeup? Well, like I say, probably the number one flaw in a changeup is kids think that they need to slow their arm down coming through release here to get the speed off the ball, when in fact you don't really need to. There's other things that'll take the speed off the ball, such as paralyzing the fingers so that they don't snap when they get here at release, getting the ball to push or lead through the zone rather than being whipped into the zone like you would do on your fastball. And the other thing is if you can kind of get your fingers out from behind the ball so that they're sort of on the side of the ball, you can't direct the energy into the ball. So I'm going to do all of these things on this changeup, but I'm going to go with a slower arm speed, and what you're going to hear is barely hear an audible chirp at all because I'm just not generating the same centrifugal force I would with my fastball. So we'll just kind of try to simulate it right here. And I got just a little itty bitty chirp right here that said, wow, that's a different arm speed. That wasn't a nice long chirping noise like I got with my fastball. So if I look down here, I can say, okay, well, I'm at a 2A setting. I need to get up to a 2A setting on my changeup. So I would work and work and work on generating arm speed into and through my release. And when I get the same sound, audible level and length of audible level, I'll know that my changeup arm speed is deceptive. So I'll try to crank up my arm speed on my changeup right now, and we can hear what kind of an audible level I get. So that was great. It was a very loud, long, audible level. So that means my arm speed was coming through. It looked just like my fastball or maybe my drop ball arm speed. So I'm going to deceive the hitter, and that's the feedback that you're going to get on this little device right here. Now, let me tell you something else. There's a second thing that this is going to feed back to you, and that has to do with one of the other training sessions that we have up on YouTube. But if you come through here with your changeup and don't get your good brush contact like you should, you're actually going to hear a really long audible because your arm's just breezing right through this zone here, but not stabilizing on your side and giving you this beautiful consistent release point so you can hit a location with your changeup also. So I'm going to simulate that right now. I'm going to come through here and not get any contact at all, and you'll hear a nice long chirp. So this little AccraSpeed is going to give you feedback on both sides. If you're not generating enough arm speed, okay, you're not going to hear it. If you're blowing right through your contact, you're going to hear too much audible. So that's kind of what this will be right here. And you can hear that was a nice long audible. Well, that's great, but I made no contact here with my side, my hip, my thigh, or anything, and that was a horrible pitch. I mean, it went way in here. I had no frame of reference for control, so this really gives you a good feedback on both sides of the equation. Now, I'm going to throw an off-speed curve, okay, and I'm going to slow it down just like a young pitcher would do. You're barely going to hear a chirp at all, okay? There's just a little bitty chirp right there, and you can see my arm was lethargic and slow. Well, if I speed this up, you should hear a longer chirp, okay? But I'm not going to add any speed to the ball because I've done all of my things I need to do with my fingers and my wrist and everything to get the speed off the ball. So this will be an off-speed curve that should get us a pretty good chirp. And it did. Coming right through here, nice and long, sounded just like my fastball, okay? And the exact same thing would happen if I got no contact at all. I'd get a longer chirp, but my control would be horrible. So this really gives you great feedback, okay? So what drills would you do to try to groove in and get your change-up arm speed to be the same? Well, we could do what we call an exaggerated acceleration drill, which means we're going to come around really slow here and then accelerate through the release zone and release our changeup. to get over the fear of slowing our arm down. So we do something like this. You can see I accelerated right through here, got a beautiful little feedback chirp from my AccraSpeed. So you can do that many, many times, and maybe 10 or 15 or 20 times in a row, and continually getting great feedback. And by the way, those are two beautiful change-ups down there. Here's another thing you could do, and that is to make sure that you're going to get arm speed after you let go of the ball. It's important to get through here into your release zone with good arm speed, but after you let go, you want to continue some good arm speed so that it reacts and looks like it's your fast pitch. You don't want to let go and then go slow, because that's a tip off to the hitter also. So we're just going to accelerate our arm up after we let go. So it's going to be kind of like this, and you'll hear a nice, loud, long chirp. Okay, so whoosh, right through here, and you'll hear it's real long. Even after I let go, you can still hear a chirping noise. So again, great feedback to know I had good speed coming into the release zone, and after I let go, I even got real good arm speed. Again, deceiving the batter. And we can do the exact same things on our off-speed curveball. Okay, so last little drill I would suggest you try to do with this, or even if you know, you're just kind of on your own and don't have a coach there, again, let this little AccraSpeed feed back to you. You don't have to have a coach. So we would do a little tempo drill where we just keep a real good tempo and try to get this to have the exact same chirp every time. So it would be kind of like this. It would be beautiful. And just pick up another ball. Don't think, just throw, get good contact, get good arm speed. Great location because of great brush interference. Okay, so nice little tempo drill. Takes a lot of the mechanical thinking out of pitching. Okay, so then the last thing I'd suggest is, how about if we throw our great fastball or drop ball, they're almost the same, and then throw your changeup and see if we've got an identical chirp noise here out of our little AccraSpeed. So again, I'll just throw fastball and then we'll throw a changeup and see how close they are, and that's great feedback for our little, you know, self or brain here. So here's kind of a fastball. Okay, and you can hear a nice long audible chirp there, and then we'll do a changeup. Almost the exact same chirp. So that's feeding back great information to the pitcher here. Okay, so remember this little device, AccraSpeed here. It's got a ton of applications in pitching for fast pitch softball, same applications for overhand, for fastball or changeup or curve. Okay, great applications for hitting, etc. So again, AccraSpeed, and you can go look at this at www.PaulyGirlFastPitch.com, and you can check our online store and pick this one up. Put it in your toolkit. Great tool. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got up another little picture here of the AccraSpeed, just to give you an idea of where you can go to buy this little device. You can go to www.AccraSpeed.com or www.PaulyGirlFastPitch.com. Both of these websites have an online store, so you can purchase it there. And we don't want you to forget to go to YouTube to look at some of the training videos that will really show you how to use this tool and improve your game. So if you go to YouTube and type in AccraSpeed Trainer, then you'll get all the little drills that you could possibly need to elevate your game to the next level. And this is just, you know, again, from PaulyGirl Fast Pitch, one of the finest little tools that we've ever really run into.